WPSD Local 6, your breaking news and weather authority. This is Local 6 at 5 in high definition.
Paying off their debts. Students at a local university say they're being asked to pay for a financial situation they didn't create.
I will not feel accomplished until I have a diploma hanging on that wall.
First at 5, upset over having to pay up.
Some students at Mid-Continent University don't like the school's plan for those students to pay off any remaining school balance. We've been tracking the school's financial struggles for months. In February, we uncovered the university was filing error-filled paperwork with the Department of Education. That led to the university not receiving any federal financial aid from the Department of Ed. In April, the university laid off all faculty and staff because they couldn't make payroll. It was also announced the university would end all instruction June 30th. Local 6's Robert Bradfield joins us for tonight's top story. And Robert, you know, these are loans they're being asked to pay back.
To me, but we will stay on top of this and answer those questions again tonight at 6. Todd.
Robert, thank you. Now, students are given 10 years to pay off their loans because the university is allowing students to repay their loans interest-free. Dean Owen says the university is really helping the students financially. He says the interest rate for student loans between 5% and 6% a year.
The U.S. now has armed drones flying over Baghdad. An anonymous Pentagon employee says those flights started within the past 2 days. They're aimed at protecting U.S. civilians and military forces in the Iraqi capital. That employee also stressed the president has not authorized airstrikes over Sunni militants who have been overrunning territory in other parts of Iraq. Well, President Obama accusing Republicans of getting in his way to help you. In Minneapolis today, the president said the GOP won't let him raise the minimum wage and extend unemployment benefits.
They keep on offering a theory of the economy that's time and again failed for the middle class. They think we should give more tax breaks to those at the top. They think we should invest less in things like education.
Now, yesterday, House Speaker John Boehner said House Republicans would sue the president for misusing executive action. In his speech today, President Obama also responded to Boehner's announcement.
I might have said in the heat of the moment during one of these debates, I want to raise the minimum wage, so sue me when I do.
The president visited Minnesota today in part because the state recently approved to raise its minimum wage by more than $3 an hour. The wage will climb from $6.15 to $9.50 an hour by 2016.
Continuing coverage on a story we first told you about this morning and one we've been tracking all day. We've learned that a missing Paducah teen has been found and is back with her family tonight. Paducah police say the Marshall County Sheriff's Office found 17-year-old Casey Jones this afternoon. Jones was reported missing yesterday after leaving work at McDonald's. Investigators say Jones was at her ex-boyfriend's home in Benton. New details tonight on a deadly crash. We now know this crash in northern Kentucky killed an entire family. A couple and their 3 children were riding in an SUV last night near Lexington when they hit a minivan head-on. The SUV then burst into flames. The kids were 7, 5, and 3 years old. The van involved in the crash was with a religious group that helps abuse women. The crash killed a passenger in the van and injured 4 others. No word on their conditions tonight.
We have a traffic alert to pass along to you now. Get ready for slowdowns on the Egners Ferry Bridge. We told you last week. Construction crews say they'll start pouring new concrete this Monday morning at 4. Don't forget to keep an eye out for large truck traffic on US 68 in that area. Drivers should watch out for slowing and stopped traffic until about noon on Monday.
After crisscrossing the state listening to ideas, Kentucky's Senate President Robert Stivers is focusing on river ports, some in our area. That includes the Elvis Star Harbor in Fulton County. The harbor handles more than 1 million tons of cargo each year on the Mississippi, but has struggled to stay open when the water levels dip below 10 feet. The port workers say they need to dredge the harbor every year to stay open, but because of federal and state funding shortfalls, they can only do it once every 2 or 3 years. The port workers say they need about $1 million to dredge the harbor every year, and Stivers says he wants to discuss some funding when lawmakers return to Frankfort in January.
Now your Weather Authority first forecast.
And what the weekend has in store for us in just a few moments.
Boy, nobody wants to hear those sirens, but emergency responders depend on them to get to those who need help as soon as possible. But For some children, those sirens can sound 10 times louder and scarier than how you hear them. That's why local autism support group Families on the Spectrum hosted a Meet Our Heroes event at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. The event brought together children with special needs and emergency responders to help the kids feel a little more comfortable about sirens and alarms.
We just provide a place of love and acceptance and hopefully resource for parents of newly diagnosed or newly moving into this area to know where to go for therapy services and doctors and those sorts of things.
To find out more about Families on the Spectrum, just head to our web channel, WPSDLocal6.com. Look for this story on our homepage.
The St. Jude Dream Home campaign is back a little later this year. Mother Nature didn't help much with all that cold and snow.
It did not, but it promises to be as great as ever. Our own Mike Mallory joins us now for an update as Dream Home chairperson.
Thanks, guys. We are in Cimarron Cove Subdivision, right across the road, 6. From Cimarron Cove Subdivision, Mike Mallory, WPSD Local 6.
All right, thanks, Mike. You can reserve your ticket at any Regions Bank and the Lowell King Insurance in Bardwell, Kentucky. You can also call 1-800-382-8604, and you can always go to our web channel, WPSDLocal6.com. Those tickets, $100 each, and there will only be 7,500 of them sold.
Yeah, so get them while you can. And again, we'll announce the winner of the Dream Home on October 5th right here on WPSD Local 6.
And you know, I've heard so many people over the years say, I have a great home.
Yeah.
I just want to buy a ticket for the kids.
Oh,
so,
absolutely. It's for a great
But
cause.
like we say, you could win a home.
You never know. All right, everybody, it's an important question. Have you been tested yet? Why it's so important to find out if you're infected with HIV and where you can get it done for free. That's later in your Family Healthcast.
Plus, big business. We're breaking down the largest employers and revenue makers in the Local 6 region using this unique map.
A little farther out, but we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Okay. Thanks, Tori.
Well, we all know what it is and the danger it poses, but have you ever been tested for HIV? Why it's important that we all find out if we're positive for the virus and where you can do that for free in your Family Healthcast.
And running for 2, a new mom shares her passion for the track with her unborn child. It's coming up next on Local 6 at 5.
Scanning the satellites, this U.S. track star will certainly have a story to tell her first child. Look closely. Alyssa Montano competed in the 800-meter run yesterday while nearly 8 months pregnant. There she is. The 5-time national champion finished the race 2 minutes and 32 seconds, about 35 seconds slower than her personal best. Wow. Montano says she's been running throughout her pregnancy to compete. She says her biggest fear was getting lapped by other faster runners.
Really impressive. Okay, in tonight's Family Healthcast, about 50,000 people in the U.S. are infected with HIV every year, but 1 in 6 don't know they're infected. That one could be you, and that's why the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is urging you to get tested. Listen to this. HIV cases in southern Illinois reached the highest number in nearly a decade last year. The Southern Illinois HIV Care Connect office in Jackson County's health department says there were 23 new HIV cases in 2013. That's a jump from 21 new cases in 2012. The average number of new cases per year, 14 to 15. Health experts say the main reason for that hike, too many people uninformed about HIV. That's why National HIV Testing Day offers free HIV testing in more than 140 cities across the country through tomorrow. Now, Anthony Wyatt works with people infected with HIV in Jackson County, Illinois. He was tested positive for the virus in 1995. Wyatt says an open dialogue about the virus is key.
Someone needed the support to talk with, to encourage, to stay on their meds, if they have any issues or how to go through the process of managing their lifestyle on medication.
Now, in addition to the Jackson County Health Department, if it intimidates you a little bit, there are other places you can go to get tested. The Newman Catholic Student Center in Carbondale offers testing on the first and third Thursday of each month from 2 to 6 p.m., while Long Branch Coffee House offers testing on the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 2 to 6 as well. You can also call your local health department for a list of alternative testing locations in your area.
They're the largest employers, bring in the most revenue, and have a lot of influence in the states they call home. Up next, what companies rule in each of our Local 6 states and how you can take a closer look at this unique map yourself. You're watching Local 6 at 5.
We're insured by them, we use them to send packages across the country and the world. We even eat the food they make.
But how big of an influence do they have in the states these companies call home? Well, a company called Broadview Networks put together this map with the largest company by revenue for each state. And we're taking a closer look at the results for our region. Let's begin with Kentucky.
Yeah, according to Broadview, the largest company in the Commonwealth is Humana Incorporated. Headquartered in Louisville, the healthcare company generates more than $40 billion in revenue. Now let's go to Illinois. The largest company is Archer Daniels Midland. Based in Decatur, it turns crops into food, feed, and fuels. It generates nearly $90 billion in revenue.
Wow. To Tennessee now, the largest company there, FedEx, headquartered in Memphis. The shipping company brings in more than $44 billion. And in Missouri, that's home of Express Scripts. The pharmacy group is one of the largest companies in the U.S., based in St. Louis. It generates about $104 billion in revenue.
Now, as for some of the other familiar companies, Walmart employs the most people in Arkansas. Nike claims the top spot in Oregon.
And this is a really cool map. You can check it out for yourself. Just head to our web channel, WPSD Local6.com. All right, he hasn't missed a show in the last 4 decades, and he definitely won't want to miss one on the books for tomorrow.
How the Grand Ole Opry is honoring a country music legend there. That's coming up next on Local 6 at 5.
Here now is a look at what we're working on for Local 6 at 6.
Do you typically pay with a debit or credit card? Local owners say those swipe fees are hurting their small businesses. Tonight at 6, how a little bit of cash can go a long way.
Thursday, Illinois Governor Pat Quinn signed new anti-bullying legislation into law. We'll show you what one local school district is doing to prevent bullying not only in their schools, but in their community as well.
And on NBC Nightly News, a look at the flood emergency continuing tonight in parts of the Midwest, plus meeting a group of young artists being honored because they could be the next big thing.